This is Last Rites.
Good evening to all the undead ghouls and monsters. We are your horror hosts for tonight's Last Rites. What is up, Monster Squad? This is episode 22. Can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah. It's been a fun ride so far.
Yep. I'm enjoying it. You're enjoying it. We're going to keep that train going.
Yeah.
Today's episode is up-and-coming horror for the ending of 2024 and some new titles that were thrown out to us for 2025. We have some stuff that's in theaters now. We have some stuff that's coming out in December. And then we have a whole slew of stuff for 2025.
Yeah, quite a list here.
Yeah, like my monitor here is just like full of open windows of all the up-and-coming horror. But before we get started, we'd like to give a shout out to our unofficial sponsor. Hopefully one day we can be sponsored by them. If you're listening, please sponsor us, which is Liquid Death. So do your guys' part. Make sure you guys recycle, death the plastic, and murder your thirst. What are you drinking today?
I got Armless Palmer. I still call it that, but it's the Dead Billionaire. It's my favorite.
Yeah. They don't want to be sued, so they had to change the name.
Yeah, a shame because I really did like that name.
Yeah,
But
I'm not sure. Palmer's the last name of Arnold, so I don't understand. Like, it's not an Arnold Palmer drink. It's not copyrighted, and they're calling it Armless. It's a play on words, and yet they're being threatened to be sued over it. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weird, and I mean, the new name's kind of cool too, but it's kind of weird how that happened, you know?
Yeah, it's just petty, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, just cash grab at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then I'm doing the classic here, Severed Lime.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with that one.
Nope. Yeah, I've really taken a liking to this one, so this is like my staple. Anytime that I see it, if I'm not drinking just the plain white can, which is just the still water or the mountain water, then I'm usually drinking the Severed Lime.
Gotta stay hydrated.
That's right. So yeah, Liquid Death's going to be murdering our thirst throughout this podcast. So here we go.
All right.
I never get the fizzle.
Well, mine doesn't have one because this one's tea.
Yeah, here's the tea. Mine's the sparkling water, but all right, whatever.
Very good, very good.
Delicious nonetheless. Moving on, we also have a little segment that we like to do before we get into the podcast. It's our Mount Rushmore of horror, and today's Mount Rushmore is Scream Queens.
Yeah, I'm really liking this new segment. I have lots of fun trying to figure these things out. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult because you got to make decisions. You only get 4, so you know.
Yeah, you really got to put the pencil to the grind on this one, like figuring out, who your 4 are, because you could have a whole, top 10 list, and trying to pick out the best 4 out of the 10. You're just like, fuck.
Yeah, and you're having to bump over, like you'll remember somebody or something, and you're like, oh, actually that one's better. I'm gonna have to bump this guy out or something, and you're like, oh man, but they're really good though. But yeah,
I had one where I was a couple days just revolving like person after person after person until like I was finalizing the list, and I was like, okay, I can't change it anymore. This has to be it.
yeah.
But it always seems like you're finding something new, and you're like, no, then this person has to go above this person.
Right.
Looks like last time I started, so looks like you're starting this time.
We're doing Scream Queens.
Is there a particular order we're doing?
No, I mean, no ranking really. Although, well, I'll start with number 4, I guess.
Okay.
My number 4 is Elsa Lancaster, who played the bride of Frankenstein in the movie. When the monster is revealed to her, she lets out the scream, and to me is one of those classic ones. Um, and that's why she's number 4.
Cool. My number 4 is Lena Quigley.
Oh yeah. See, that was one of the ones that I had to bump out, where I was like, oh man, but she's all right.
Yeah, she's one of the screen queens from the 80s. Did a lot of low budget movies, a lot of B movies.
Yeah.
And then mostly famous for The Return of the Living Dead.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep, she's my number 4.
Nice. I got number 3. I got Jenna Ortega, simply because of that scream she lets out in the movie X.
Yeah.
That one was fantastic. It was phenomenal. She really sold that one, and that's why she's number 3.
Yeah, definitely a scream queen in the running there. My number 3, Barbara Crampton. She was on my actresses list, and for the same reasons. The Reanimator, the scream that she lets out when she finds herself on that table naked, and there's just that head, and the headless body is basically like groping her.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on, like that scream itself, like for her. And also she's been in countless B movies, another actress from the 80s. So yeah, she's my number 3.
Yeah, cool. That's a good one. Wow. Okay. I have number 2, Marilyn Burns. Just Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just a fantastic movie, and she does a few screams, more than a few screams on that one. And then that last scene, that very last scene, she does a super good job on that.
Awesome. Yeah, so my number 2 is Danielle Harris. She is a scream queen from 3 different cycles of her life, from being a young girl to her adolescence to adulthood. So we have Halloween being from her childhood, the Rob Zombie Halloween from her adolescence, and then as an adult she had her own series with Kane Hodder, and it was called Hatchet, and the main character was named Victor Crowley. So it looks like she did 3 different Hatchets and then a Victor Crowley movie after that. Yeah, but that's why she's my number 2. You know, she has 3 different cycles of being, you know, a scream queen, and she's also like trying to fight for that title itself. So she wants to be like the all-time like scream queen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a scream pro and a very prolific actress for sure. Nice. All right. My number 1 is Shelley Duvall, simply for that classic scene. Jax hears Johnny and then the scream. That, to me, that's like a classic horror scream, and Shelley Duvall was great in that. R.I.P.
Yeah. Awesome. My number 1, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Of course.
The actual like title holder, at least in my opinion, of Scream Queen.
Yeah, for many people.
Yeah, and obviously for obvious reasons. So, all right. Well, that's our Scream Queens. If you guys differ on your list, let us know in the comments. Let us know if you liked our Scream Queens and if you didn't, and let us know who you would have picked. All right, now we have our up-and-coming horror that's ending here in 2024. So right now in theaters, we have Smile 2, which is in the theaters right... I think it was released... When was it released? Just this past weekend. So we're recording this today, October 19th, and it was released yesterday, October 18th. And this is a sequel to the first Smile, which also has Kyle Gallner returning as his character Joel, and it has a new leading actress, Naomi Scott, as Sky Riley. And really, that's all I know about it. Do you have any insight on this?
The only other thing I know is Ray Nicholson is in it, and that's Jack Nicholson's son. And they were releasing some photos of him smiling, doing the evil smile.
Interesting.
And doing comparisons, and yeah, you could totally see the resemblance there, especially in the eyebrows a little bit. He does the that Jack Nicholson eyebrow smile,
Yeah, the eyebrow raise.
Yeah, and yeah, you can totally see it. So I'm intrigued to see his work in this movie. I kind of knew they were gonna do franchise out of this one just because of the way it ends. And Kyle Gallner, he's basically the last one. In spoilers for Smile 1, if you haven't seen it. I kind of knew the Smile was gonna become a franchise because of the way the possession or the curse passes on to one person to the next. You could pretty much make it infinite, So I kind of knew that a Smile 2 was gonna come in, and there's capability for it to become a 3, a 4, and just an entire series, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it yet?
Number 2, no, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm planning on watching it this weekend. Although, and we'll talk about it, we'll get into it too. Terrifier 3 came out as well, and I wasn't expecting that to come out as early as it did. So now
yeah, that one's weird. They projected it to come out during Christmas because that was the whole like series of trailers.
Yeah,
it was with the Santa Claus stuff.
Exactly.
And Terrifier 3 was set up to come out during Christmas because of all the trailers that they had with the Santa Claus and those portrayals. But then it was released then they said that it was going to be released in October, but they said it was going to be late October, like closer to Halloween, like around that week. And then next thing you know, it was released like, what's the actual release date?
It says October 11th here.
Yeah, October 11th. So just like a week ago. So I'm not sure if something happened where they needed to release it early or whatnot, or they just, I don't know, we're just too antsy about it. Because even like on the Wikipedia, like the first thing it says is Terrifier 3 is a 2024 American Christmas supernatural slasher.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
So it doesn't make sense that they would release it in October and then not keep it for its original slate, of December.
Yeah, because that's a 2-month difference there.
Yeah, and they could have totally just built it up, even though, I mean, it's from what I hear, it's doing really well in the theaters, and it's also sending a lot of people, to the emergency room and
all these things again, all over again from
all this craziness. People can't,
right.
can't handle the first 10 minutes of the movie. People getting sick, throwing up.
They're doing the same thing. Is it going too far? Is it too gory? Have they crossed the line this time? They did the same thing last time, and I mean, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, those are we have a third one too, but those are the 2 that are in theaters right now. Like I said, the Terrifier, though, was supposed to be slated for later, so not sure what happened there. But yeah, Smile 2, Terrifier 3, and then there's this movie called Speak No Evil, which has a pretty nice cast in it.
Yeah, this one kind of jumped out of nowhere at me. I saw the trailer at the movies. I can't remember what I was watching. I think it was Alien Romulus. And I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, wow, this looks really cool. It's got an 84 and an 85 popcorn meter and tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. So that speaks pretty good on it,
Yeah, it's got James McAvoy. It has Mackenzie Davis, Aisling François. I can't pronounce her name. I'm sorry. And Scoot McNary. And Scoot and Mackenzie are from a little show called Halt and Catch Fire. And that was basically like a early 80s like computer drama, like of when the computers were becoming a big thing, and it was in Texas. It had Lee Pace in it also. He was the main character, and Mackenzie Davis was like his like on again, off again, like love interest. And Scoot was the guy who was working with him, where they were trying to come up with like the company and trying to like basically like advance it. But yeah, it was a super cool show. And but those 2 have obviously worked together. But yeah, those 4 right there in this movie, and also too with from what I've read, with James McAvoy's portrayal in the movie Split. Said that it was a perfect casting for him to be in this movie.
Yeah, because the whole premise of the movie is there's like a couple that arrive at it's like a rural horror type movie, I suppose. And James McAvoy just is like this psychopath or something, right? It's sort of what I got from it. It says here on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' consensus, harnessing sick suspense from the glimmer in James McAvoy's eye. Speak No Evil is the rare remake that hushes up concerns of been there, done that. So that really intrigues me. I didn't know it was a remake either.
I didn't know it was a remake also.
I don't think I've heard of this one. I'm gonna have to go look it up. But yeah, it looks good. Now I don't know which one I should watch this weekend. I might have to do what do you call it? A triple feature at the theater.
Just one right after the other.
Yeah. Just drink
That's
a little coffee or
long
something.
day.
Something. I'm gonna have to do something.
Yeah, at least they got those machines now that you can get the refills on the drinks and the popcorn. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I wonder they're doing the popcorn buckets now. I wonder if Terrifier has one or any of these. Terrifier has to have one.
I can't imagine what that would be. It's got to be something grotesque or something just off the wall.
Yeah. I might have to get it if it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, so those are what's in theaters right now. So if you guys haven't had a chance, check them out. If you have, drop some comments down. Let us know what you guys thought of Smile 2, Terrifier 3, and Speak No Evil. Coming out in the theaters in December, because can't find anything that's slated between now and then, other than these two movies.
Okay.
First one is Werewolves, and the second one is Nosferatu, which I know
I'm super stoked for that one.
Yeah, and we'll get to that one in just a second. But Werewolves, I just came on my radar. This is a movie with Frank Grillo. You know him from one of the Purge movies. He's also Crossbones in the Marvel universe. This, like I said, it stars him, stars Katrina Law, also has Lou Diamond Phillips.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Jonathan. I can't pronounce people's fucking names. It's ridiculous. It's like Scarich or Screech, but there's no R. It's like I can't pronounce shit. I don't even know why I try. But those are the only actors that I recognize. Obviously, Lou Diamond Phillips, a well-known actor.
La Bamba himself.
That's right, Mr. Chavez from Young Guns.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this movie. The way it was presented to me is someone told me that this is basically The Purge with werewolves.
Yeah, it looks. I did look a little bit at the trailer. It looks like there's lots of action in it.
Oh yeah, it looks like there's just a ton of action. Yeah, basically it's once every full moon, obviously, when the werewolves come out, they're being I guess the United States is being overran by werewolves, or at least this one area is being overran by werewolves, and they break out, and I'm guessing the government's like tasking people to like take them out in some way or another. It was real weird to watch the trailer at first. I had to like watch it a couple times before it really like sank in, and then I actually saw like what they were saying, like, you know, the Purge meets werewolves.
Yeah, the IMDb page says 2 scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. I don't know, what's a supermoon?
It's like a larger than normal, and also
like when it's really close to the Earth or something?
Yeah, and I think it's also altered in color.
Oh.
Something's like somewhere is shining onto the moon itself, changing the color of it.
Yeah.
But it's also the closest to the Earth. That's why it looks so big. So.
Well, it looks cool. I have been watching a little wolf movies this week, and it has been full moon this past few nights, so that's been pretty cool. In fact, I saw the moon this morning as I was driving over here.
Oh, that's cool.
The moon was like right there, and it was the sun was out and you could still see it. It was kind of cool. But yeah, I've been watching a little werewolf movies, and yeah,
That's the kind of shit that you hear like conspiracy theorists like just start going off on.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, the werewolf thing. Like we're our next episode is going to be about a werewolf movie. So we've been kind of watching a lot of werewolf movies.
Yeah, the old classics. But this one looks like it's going to be a pretty good addition to the genre, which is I feel like the werewolf genre is a little bit they've abandoned it a little bit past few years. I haven't seen a lot of like really good ones. You know, I think the really good ones are still the classic ones, in my opinion. But we'll see what this isn't the only wolf movie coming out, right? There's another one.
In 2025.
In 2025, there's going to be another one called Wolfman, so we'll get into those. But yeah, werewolves looks cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they abandoned it, but it seems like it's on its way to make a comeback.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because we have this one coming out in December. Our next podcast is going to be about one that we just watched, and then they have I think a couple of them slated for 2025, but like one of them that only has a date is the Wolfman, like you said. Werewolves looks fun, looks cool, definitely looks completely interesting. I like the whole concept of the Purge meets werewolves, so we'll see how well that works. All right, and also in theaters in December is Nosferatu.
Yes, Robert Eggers. I'm so stoked for this one. Robert Eggers is one of my favorite horror directors. The Witch, The Northman, The Lighthouse. If you've seen those movies, you know what to expect from him. He seems to be using, I want to say, I can't remember the name of the composer, but as I was watching the trailer for Nosferatu, it really reminded me of the music from The Witch. So he must be using the same composer, because it was like almost exactly the same. Not exactly the same, but it had like the same type of feel, which it was awesome.
I think that's a formula that Hollywood likes to keep, as an ongoing thing. You get a director and then you get a composer, and if they work well together, the director keeps going back to that same composer because they kind of get this rapport with each other. So, at that point, the composer kind of knows what the director is looking for.
Exactly.
And he just kind of either anticipates it, or he just does what he needs to do to, get the sound that the director is looking for. And usually I would say 9 out of 10 times it's definitely a win, because you hear the music and you're just like, man, without that music, this movie, would be completely different. It's always true what they say. It's like you can watch something without music and, feel one way, and then you can watch it again with a score added to it, and just completely changes the feel of the movie, and you're just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I just found the name Robin Carolan, and yeah.
It's a male or female?
I don't know.
No picture.
Let's see. Looks like it's a guy. He's got a big beard. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he did work for The Northman, not The Witch, surprisingly.
Wonder who did the score for that one. Yeah, this one's got an interesting cast in it. I'm not really a big fan of Bill Skarsgård as of all, but he's going to be playing Count Orlok. I'm also not a big fan of Nicholas Hoult, but he's in this movie also.
Yeah.
Emma Corrin's going to be in it. Person I did not know was in it is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. He's going to play Friedrich Harding.
And then Willem Dafoe.
Of course. He's going to be the hunter, I guess, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose.
Right.
She's going to be in it. And good character actor, Ralph, how do you pronounce his last name? Ineson? He was the father from The Witch.
Yeah. So coming back to work for Eggers, that's good. The cast, it should be good.
Yeah, so hopefully, with fingers crossed, this movie is going to be fantastic.
Yes, these type of remakes really do make me nervous, but they did put the movie up for Halloween, basically, which means that the studios might think that Eggers has something good on his hands,
Yeah.
So I trust Eggers. I think it's gonna be good, and the trailer looks good. So
Yeah, everything I've seen from him has just been a knockout of the park. I think he is a fantastic director.
yes,
He also wrote this one too. I mean, it's his version of the movie itself, but obviously he puts his own twist with it.
yeah, it does. It did remind me of Nosferatu the Vampire from 1979. This one was Werner Herzog, and I remember watching it, and it had a weird feel to it. First of all, Klaus Kinski was in it, and Isabella Gianni is in it, who's a fantastic actress. If you've seen Possession, you know what I'm talking about. But the movie Nosferatu the Vampire, it was kind of goofy at times. It was kind of weird. It had a weird feel to it because, I don't know, Werner Herzog has like a weird sense of humor too, so it had these weird moments of like levity, like comedic levity, and it just came out. Some of the scenes were kind of goofy to me, and it just made me laugh. But it reminded me of that remake. I don't know how to feel about that remake now. Hopefully, Eggers takes it a little bit more seriously, and gives us a good rendition of the original. Speaking of which, there's also announced Nosferatu: A Symphony of Horror, which is another remake of the silent film. I'm guessing it's going to be also a silent film because they're calling it a remake, or a remix of the original. And
That'd be really hard to do, like with this day and age, like with the attention span that everybody has.
yeah,
Who's gonna actually last in the theater to watch this? Only I think the true fans who will go to see this will stay and watch it. Other
Yeah.
people probably won't even know when they go to watch it. They'll probably just be like, "Oh, this is gonna be another Nosferatu movie, another vampire movie," and when they don't hear dialogue, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
yeah.
So I can see a lot of people bailing on this.
Especially, I mean, it also, the music has a lot to do with it, right? So
Yeah.
whatever score was called Symphony of Horror. So like, I'm guessing that, and they're calling it a remix. So I'm guessing that they're putting new music in this. So I'm really curious to see what the music is going to be. Doug Jones is attached to it.
Really?
If you remember him, he was the creature in The Shape of Water. He's worked with Guillermo del Toro a lot,
Yeah.
doing his creatures. He was
Abe and Hellboy.
the Hellboy, right. He was that weird monster with the that has no eyes, but that his eyes are on the palms of his hands.
Was that like Pan's Labyrinth?
That's Pan's Labyrinth, and he also played the title, the titular character, right? He was the Pan, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
but he's in it. He's gonna be the vampire, I guess.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm curious to see that one too. Just kind of weird to see all these Nosferatu love all of a sudden by everybody. So I'm kind of glad to see that.
Yeah, that's good. It's getting its love out there for the weird vampire.
Yeah, it also reminds me. There's a remake of, what was that movie? Salem's Lot.
Oh yeah,
and
that's on what it was on one of the streaming networks, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's like Max or something.
I've yet to see that one, and I kind of want to rewatch the old one as well, because that vampire always reminded me of Nosferatu. He's like a kind of like that type of vampire, So I want to see that one as well.
All right, cool. Well, that is your movies for 2024. Like we said before, in theaters right now is Smile 2, Terrifier 3, and Speak No Evil. And then rounding out the year in December will be Werewolves, and looks like we have a couple Nosferatus.
Yeah.
So very interesting to see how those turn out. 2025 horror. So we have a list of things that have been confirmed. Some of them do have release dates, some of them do not. Also, a couple of them don't have really any synopsis to them other than certain people that have been attached, and I think that's really it. I don't think they're just basically stating that they're continuances because these are like part 2 movies. Not sure when we're going to get more information, but obviously when we do, we'll let you guys know about it. So we'll start the list with Megan 2.0.
Yeah, all these. I'm looking at the list and I'm seeing the part 2s and all these fun ways of making it the part 2. So 2.0 makes sense for Megan, obviously. I'm not a techie guy, but I kind of know what that means. Did you like the first one?
I did. I thought it was original. I thought it was almost kind of a breath of fresh air on like Chucky, but with an AI doll instead of some possessed doll. Because clearly, I think the AI was possessed, but this is an AI, and it's not like a soul of a person that's taking over something. So the whole AI thing is I wouldn't say it's new because Terminator gave us AI back in the day, and people were on the fence about it. Some people were afraid, some people were kind of whatever, and then it kind of disappeared. And then Terminator, just to me, it seemed like it turned into more of a joke series than something more serious. And then now with the advances that AI is having on the world and everywhere, when Megan came out, I think it was a nice take on what's current events, and that this is something that actually could happen. Same thing too, like with that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. Did you ever see that one?
No, I think I missed that one.
Yeah, he basically, the AI is his phone, which is Scarlett Johansson's voice, and he just...
Oh, yeah, she's never in the... It's just her voice the entire time.
Yeah, just her voice.
Right,
so he ends up, like, falling in love with her, but it's just... It's like he fell in love with Siri,
Right. And, yeah, I did watch it, and I remember it. She evolves, like, way past him, like, so fast. That I remember it now.
So, yeah, the Megan 2.0 is probably going to be...
I wonder if they're going to touch on... Because it's very controversial now, the AI thing, and the use of AI and art and film and music and everything else. So
yeah, it seems Hollywood's on the fence about it. Some people are for it, some people are against it. I can see why some of the actors don't want to have AI, because it's literally going to take their jobs away.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But also, I think it's going to be good in certain aspects, like how we got Peter Cushing, back for Rogue One, that type of AI. And then same thing too with a lot of dead actors. Like if they want to bring them back, they need to find some way to get the rights, from the families. And as long as they sign off on it and it's done, good, then they should be fine. And then same thing too with rest in peace to him. But what's his name? He was the voice of Darth Vader.
Oh yeah,
it'll come to me in a second. But he recorded a whole lot of stuff for the AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that way they could use his voice
in later
things in Star Wars, so they could keep Vader. James Earl Jones. I knew it would come to me. I'm so sorry. And so he did a lot of recordings of his voice. This is what I've been told, and this is what I've read. I don't know if it's actually true, but it sounds like it could be. But he gave his permission to have his voice used for future films, so that way Vader can live on forever, basically.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, so
those type of uses are good. I think despite all the controversy, I see a lot of good potential for it.
Yeah. I'm real interested to see how this movie has evolved. What the next step of AI is going to be. The same actress is coming back to portray Megan.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the same people coming back.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just going to be a direct continuance from the first movie, or if it's just going to be a whole new story. But we'll find out. Next on the list, Final Destination: Bloodlines.
Cool. I've always been a fan of the franchise. I think once a year, me and my brother do this thing where we watch the beginning sequence of each movie. We kind of just rank it, and our ranking kind of changes from time to time. It's a fun franchise to watch, and another entry, yes, please.
Yeah, and it's been 12 years since the last
one. No way.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, they're bringing back Tony Todd as the mortician guy.
Yeah.
So, and they basically are saying they're going to kind of do a deep dive into him and his character, and kind of like his origin story is what they're going to talk about.
Oh, cool.
Because there's a lot of speculations that people think that he's actually Death.
Okay.
But it's just kind of up in the air. A lot of hearsay. People are gonna say some things. Some people are gonna say other things.
Okay, so the Bloodlines title is starting to make sense then.
Yeah, because his character name is right there, William Bloodworth. But the blood is like English spelling, like
right.
BLUD.
BLUD, yeah.
But yeah, he's
so
been
like food instead of FUD instead of food.
But yeah, he's been the staple throughout the entire series, and he's going to be back in it. And like I said, they're doing kind of like an origins, not really too much of an origin story, but like more like his background. We're going to find out more about him and who he is and what his relation is to all this. So yeah, I'm super excited. Can't wait to see what turns out for this one. I've always been a fan of Final Destination as well.
Yeah, totally. I wish they would have brought back Devon Sawa. That would have been cool.
Yeah, especially
I liked his character in that first one.
Especially if you guys haven't heard the news, they canned the Chucky series. So
Man,
no more Devon Sawa.
oh my God.
We have to wait for his next big thing.
Yep. Okay. Final Destination though, cool.
Yep. Next on the list is Five Nights at Freddy 2.
Yeah, they did leave it on a kind of a cliffhanger, not a cliffhanger, but like an open ending on that last one. And fans of the game and the story itself will know kind of where the second one is going to be going. I have no idea. I'm just gonna wait and see, because I'm not too not familiar at all actually with the franchise or the story. I read some things on Reddit and things like that, but my brother is a little bit more familiar with it, as he's way younger than me.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat with you. I had to get all my information from my son, who was like really big into it at the time.
Yeah.
And then, so they have Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lau, and Matthew Lillard have signed on
Of course.
for the second.
Makes complete sense if you know the ending of the first movie.
Also has Blumhouse is still attached to it, and they're projecting it to have a December release for 2025.
December 2025, okay.
So as soon as more in development happens, we will let you guys know. Next on the list is Wolfman 2025. This one we spoke about a little bit earlier when we were talking in the beginning of the podcast. From what I've read, this is a reboot of the original 1941, but they also did that too, like about 10 years or so ago with Benicio del Toro, the Wolfman.
The Wolfman, yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like it was a complete reimagining of the original.
I took it as they kept the essence of the original, and they really filled in all of the things that aren't really put in the original. I mean, they made it a lot more complex. They made it a lot more sophisticated. I really like what they did with that one. We'll get to that. But this one has a couple of actors I know. Julia Garner, I've seen her before. The series Ozark, and she was in Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know any of these actors. Also, none of the names seem familiar, so that's why I'm thinking it's this has to be more of a reimagining than what the Benicio del Toro one was, because the Benicio del Toro one, they used the exact names from the 1941.
Yeah, and it looks like it's done in like modern times. It says here on IMDb, a man must protect himself and his family when they are being stalked, terrorized, and hunted by a deadly werewolf at night during a full moon. But as the night stretches on, the man begins to behave strangely. It looks like your classic premise of a Wolfman movie. Yeah, I'm interested to see it.
Cool. Next on the list is Thread, an Insidious tale. So this is not a Insidious sequel, but this is a spin-off.
Okay.
Similar to what Saw did with their movie, was it Spiral? No. Yeah, was it Spiral?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
That's the one with Chris Rock?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, you might be right.
So this one also does not have any real information other than it has 2 actors who have signed on. Has Mandy Moore and has Kamal Nojani. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Again, fucking up names. So those are the only 2 that are signed on to it, and that it says it's the 6th installment of the Insidious franchise, but it will be its own telling. It's in the Insidious universe. Everybody's doing a universe now, right?
Yeah, it's on the thread,
Yeah, so
if you will.
nice play on words there. Yeah, so they're looks like they play a married couple, and they enlist the help of a magic spell that helps them to travel back in time to prevent the death of their young child.
Okay.
That is the premise of the movie. That is at least in the works. I don't know if it's for sure. I like the Insidious movies. I thought they were super cool.
Yeah, I never really got into them, but I might give them another chance.
Yeah, it might be a nice universe to indulge into since we did The Conjuring. Maybe we could check
Right.
out that one and do an episode on that.
So is James Wan at all attached to this or related to this one?
I think he's producing it.
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, because Jeremy Slater is writing and directing it. From what I heard, Wan is probably like an executive producer of some sort. Jason Blum definitely is. Yeah, James Wan's a producer.
Cool.
So Wan and Blum are both producers of it.
All right. So at least he's still close to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, this fool is just making hand over fist dollars in the horror genre.
I know.
Like, he's living the life.
Honestly, yeah.
Next on the list here is The Conjuring.
Yes.
Last Rites.
Been waiting for this one.
This is possibly going to be the last movie in the cinematic universe of The Conjuring.
Yeah, I hope they wrap it up real good.
But if it is, they already have in works a TV series. Still don't have any more updates on that, which is going to be crazy if it actually comes, through, and if they can get Patrick Wilson and Vera to come and portray their, Ed and Lorraine
Yeah.
in the TV series.
Yeah, I think they still could. There's no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah, from what I've heard, that this Last Rites could be something to do with some case in the 80s that they had. There was some case in 87 or something like that they worked on. And then the TV show itself could be a lot of because they did, from what I heard, they did a ton of work in the 80s. There was case after case after case. So each episode, I'm guessing, could be probably a new case, or if it's an episodic series, that they're gonna, have multiple episodes of that until the case is solved, or till they move on to the next case. However it is that they do. Things you probably won't see in the TV series is Ed's infidelity, which is
right. I mean, they might
hugely
gloss
on the
over
rise.
it.
People are just uproaring about it,
Yeah.
on the interwebs. So
Yeah, especially because of the way they portray their marriage in the movies. Very loving couple and everything like that. So, and the entire thing with her having all the visions with the nun and everything like that. So, but I'm seeing the cast. So obviously Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, but then also Thaisa Farmiga, and it says Irene. So is she doing Sister Irene from the Nun movies?
I mean, that's what it sounds like, but is it going to be actually Sister Irene, or is it going to be like a flash, like a vision, like what they had with the nun?
Right. Or is she a descendant of Sister Irene? Who knows? But I'm interested. I'm always interested in anything the Conjureverse brings us. So I'm already sold. You don't even have to say less. Just release the movie already.
That's right. Yeah, we all know that Vera's your chick. So
Yeah, absolutely.
next on the list is Predator Badlands. Speculation is that this is a follow-up to the movie Prey. So this isn't per se an actual Predator movie, although it's the working title is Predator Badlands. But this is going to be more along the lines of how Prey was, where Prey was a a prequel with the natives and their story. So Badlands is supposed to be something among that. And it has, as far as I can see, Elle Fanning attached to it.
Yeah, that's the only name.
And then the director
at the moment,
Dan Trachtenberg.
Ah, yes, of course. Cool. I did like Prey. I thought it was really well done, and overall the Predator series is. I like the first one and the second one. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Next on the list is They Follow. So this is the follow-up to It Follows.
Ah, okay, cool. See, another one of those where they do like a clever
the play on the words.
Second part. Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah, because It Follows 2 would suck. It doesn't flow.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, this is the follow-up sequel to It Follows, and as far as I can see, the actress that was in it, Makia Monroe, she's signed on to reprise her role in this movie.
I'm gonna have to do a rewatch then, and see how it holds up.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't know how they're gonna follow it up, because it's one of those movies. It's similar to like Smile, the entity that attaches itself to you.
Yeah.
This movie though it's attaching itself to people through. It's almost like an STD, so it's through like sexual relations. So the person has sex with someone, and then the entity gets transferred, or the whatever it is gets transferred from that person to the next person. And if you don't get it transferred, or basically if you don't have sex with someone within a certain time frame, that person dies.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's the main goal, is the people who have it have to get rid of it, and they're trying to find a way to do that, and it's just basically going from person to person to person, similar to like an STD.
Right.
Except for they don't get rid of it. In an STD, it still stays with you, and you're just giving it to somebody else.
Right. Now
you're
everybody
both,
has it.
Yeah, now you're both sharing it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll be watching.
Also, in the sequel talks here is Talk to Me.
With the number 2.
With the number 2. That was the main thing that they were saying, is that, in stylistic, it's not going to be T.O., it's going to be the number 2, so it's the sequel.
Yeah. Did you like the first one?
I did. I thought it was very original, although I don't want to say I hate the actress that was the main actress, because she did a fantastic job at portraying the character that she was supposed to be portraying.
Yeah.
For you to end up not liking her at the end of the movie.
Right.
To convey emotions out of people, then you were doing your job.
That's right.
And she did her job, because she conveyed a lot of emotions out of me.
Yeah, she totally did. And I totally. This one is another one, just like Smile. As soon as it ended, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a franchise. They're gonna make a bunch of these. Like, I knew it. And the hand thing that they use, the prop, it has to become like some sort of thing that they sell. Maybe they're gonna make popcorn buckets out of it too. Something that thing's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, I'm surprised my buddy, I don't know if he didn't hear about it or what, but I was telling him about the first one, and I was trying to explain to him like how you basically have to give it a handshake, and then you get to see the other side.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what? Just like, yeah, I was like, wow, yeah, you have to watch it, dude. It's a total trippy movie, and it's fucking cool.
I always thought like its own version of the Ouija board, right? It's
it's
kind of
basically
like a Ouija board. So yeah, I thought it was super cool. The movie was cool. Australian, right? As I recall. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm in. I knew there was gonna be a second one. So
yeah.
As soon as the first one ended, I was like, I'm gonna watch the second one. I already know.
Yeah, and the same guys who directed the first one are coming back to direct the sequel. I'm totally into. I can't wait to see where this evolves and goes from there. And then after that, obviously, is another sequel, Saw 11. Word on the street is that they're going to try and keep it a prequel, so similar to like Saw X, where it was the prequel,
right.
In between 1 and 2.
Yeah. In between cool, I guess.
In between cool. Yeah, so I think that's what they're trying to do, because obviously they can't do an actual sequel because supposedly Jigsaw's dead, right?
Right.
And they're wanting to keep, is it Torben or Tobin?
I think it was Tobin.
Tobin Bell. They want to, keep his character going, and so that's the word on the street is that it's supposed to be, if it's not a direct sequel to X, then it's going to be another like in between movie.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to in the Saw franchise. And then hopefully this is during Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving 2.
Thanksgiving 2, yeah.
That one is going to be super cool. And we have confirmed that Addison Rae, Milo Manheim, Nell Verlecki, and Jalen Thomas Brooks from the original.
Oh yeah, he was in the original one, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, all 4 of them from the original are coming back. And then there's going to be obviously a cast of new people. The only person who isn't confirmed as of right now is McDreamy.
That's weird. You know that they're just kind of keeping it wrapped up just because there's going to be a reveal or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean he was the killer, so.
And even if like they say that he did die, because it's a mass killer, John Carver can be anybody.
Right. Sort of like a Ghostface, right?
Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah, Eli Roth is directing it once again, and yeah. So I can't wait. I hope, like I said, I hope it comes out during Thanksgiving. That'd be great, and see where the cast, it takes us. What's going to be going on, because you don't know if there's going to be some kind of like love triangle between these 3, or how it's going to play out between these 2. She's only Addison Rae. I think she's actually dating Eli Roth, so I think that's the only reason that she's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Milo. He was basically like the red herring throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then then Nell, she was dating Jalen's character in the movie, and then also another red herring.
Yeah, that movie was full of red herrings.
Yeah, and then they ended up, breaking up in the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end of the movie, her character and Milo's character end up getting together. Also, this is full of spoilers. You guys should already know. I shouldn't have to tell you.
Yeah, we reviewed this.
We reviewed this movie
way back.
But yeah, so you got those 4 actors signed on, and yeah, I can't wait to see where that story evolves, and hopefully McDreamy comes back, because we definitely need him to be John Carver. Don't want to have another person. Don't want it to be like a Scream where it's like, oh, this is the sister or the brother of
right
of so and so, and
somebody's cousin just pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's extracting his revenge.
Also, because they made these movies, when are we gonna get the rest of the Grindhouse trailer movies, man? I want to see those being made too. But yeah, Thanksgiving 2. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, since we're still on the sequel train here, it's been confirmed for an October release, The Black Phone 2.
All right, this one they just went ahead and said 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic.
There's no play on words or anything like that. It's just a plain old sequel.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But we got Ethan Hawke returning as the Grabber.
Of course.
Although his character was killed in the first movie. Not sure how he's coming back, but there's a lot of speculation saying that he could come back as a ghost, since the first movie had the ghost of his victims that were calling the kid that he kidnapped.
Interesting, yeah. That could be a way of bringing him back.
Yep. One of our friends, his daughter, is a huge fan of the first one. She loves The Mask, and so she's going to be super excited to hear that they're making the sequel to it.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they bring back The Mask, because it's iconic. It's they have something that's working for the movie, and why would they change it? So.
Yeah, it's part of his iconography already, so it needs to be there,
Yeah, so she'll be happy about that. So Hannah, just to let you know, Black Phone 2 is coming out, and The Grabber is coming back. And then to round out the sequel train here, we have The Strangers Chapter 2. So The Strangers was a movie that came out like the early 2000s, I think, or like mid 2000s. They're basically they're redoing it.
Yeah, but they're calling it Chapter 2, right?
Yeah, but they're breaking it up into 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing Strangers Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. Last year we've got Chapter 1. This year we're getting Chapter 2.
I see, okay.
And I would assume that we're getting Chapter 3 next year.
That would make sense, yeah.
No, that's not right. We got Chapter 1 this year. So we got Chapter 1, it was like in the beginning of the year, I think, maybe? Hold on, let me look. Yeah. So in May, we got Chapter 1. There's no actual date other than 2025 for Chapter 2, but that's what they're saying, that's being released here in 2025. And then Chapter 3 is probably going to be 2026. 2008 was the original Strangers.
Yeah.
And then they did a sequel in 2018, which I'm guessing probably just didn't do very good. Yeah, and then they decided to redo the movie itself, but they did it in a 3 movie series, a trilogy. Yeah, so chapter 2 is being released next year.
So I'm guessing Chapter 3 is going to be 2026?
Yeah, I'm assuming if Chapter 2 is coming out next year and we got Chapter 1 this year, so that would work. But I haven't seen any of these ones yet. I've only seen the original back when it came out. It's going to be interesting when I actually sit down and watch all 3 of these to see what they did, because there's going to has to be a lot of expansion on just that one movie. The movie was I think it was about an hour and a half. So now they're taking an hour and a half movie and they're making 3 1 hour and a half movies.
I see. Okay, so like a whole series.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be of that one movie from 2008, which is, that's some storytelling.
Yeah.
All right, so that's The Strangers Chapter 2, and that should be the last of all of our sequels. And then we have one last movie called Until Dawn, and this one is based off of a 2015 video game.
All right, yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, so I had to click on to the Wikipedia for it, and it says it's an interactive drama horror game, and it was developed by the Supermassive Games, which is published by Sony Computer Entertainment.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this game. I never played it, but yeah, now it's starting to come together.
Yeah, it says the game features a butterfly effect system and is also in third-person perspective. And they said that it was originally planned as first-person, but with the motion controls, they couldn't do it because of the PlayStation system, the PlayStation Move that they wanted to put it on. And I'm guessing because of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, it's one of those type of cash grab games. They figured, oh, well, they have those games out, so we should make our own. I've never even heard of it, so I can only speculate. That's because it came out about the same time as those games did. It looks like. Actually, no, this came out in 2015, so way after.
Yeah, way after.
Way after. So yeah, don't listen to me. I'm not sure what the fuck I'm talking about. I guess they're doing a movie about it. So it has David F. Sandberg directing it. The screenplay is done by Gary Dauberman. I don't know any of these guys. Mm-hmm. And it stars Ella Rubin, Michael Cimino, which I know him, Ji Young Yu, and Odessa Zion, and then Peter Stormare. And I know who's Peter Stormare. He was Lucifer in Constantine. He's also been in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. Cool actor, yeah.
Yeah, but a very good character actor. Yeah, I love this guy. He's actually got a whole slew of commercials for some video game out right now. If you at least when I'm watching fucking YouTube, it's almost every other commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that he's doing.
Is he always in a white suit?
No, I wish. That would be that'd be cool. No, he still has his facial hair. When he was Lucifer, he was clean shaved.
Yeah.
And barefoot. I thought that was super cool, him walking over that fucking broken glass.
Yeah.
And just damn, I see that and it's my feet are just aching. Ah. But yeah, that's our list for the 2025 horror. Megan 2.0, Final Destination Bloodlines, Five Nights at Freddy 2, Wolfman, Thread and Insidious Tale, The Conjuring Last Rites, Predator Badlands, They Follow, Talk to Me, Saw 11, Thanksgiving 2, The Black Phone 2, The Strangers Chapter 2, and Until Dawn. That's a lot of twos in there.
Yeah. I was looking at the list. And I was like, half the list is sequels. Cool.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, or any news? Anything I missed?
Let me see. I had something.
I mean, there's a ton of other stuff that's coming out, but these are like the main things that like caught my eye.
Yeah.
And I thought I would express some interest in. Oh, they did say as long as Smile 2 does good in the theaters, that they did greenlight a Smile 3.
Smile 3, yeah.
And same thing too with Terrifier 3. As long as that does very well for itself, there will be a Terrifier 4 greenlit.
Supposedly, I read that Terrifier 4 would wrap up Art the Clown's story arc, but Damien Leone says if he wants, or if he can, he'll make a fifth one, or which kind of sounds that he just wants to keep it going, Which, I mean, I'm all about it.
I mean, there is a shit ton of cities throughout the United States, and Art the Clown is only wreaking havoc in a certain area, so it's easy for him to move on. Or he could be just like, your typical, killers like Jason and Michael and Freddy, and just stay in the one, city that you're destined to be in. Jason's always in Crystal Lake. Michael Myers is always in Haddonfield. And Freddy is always on Elm Street. Or in the city of Springwood.
Yeah. I mean, Art the Clown is everywhere. Really.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's easy for them to, expand him to bigger and better, places.
In other news, Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches gets a season 2.
Nice.
So, I've been watching a couple of the episodes.
It's on my list to binge watch.
It looks good. It starts a little bit slow, but it ramps up as it moves along. Alexander Daddario is coming back for season 2, obviously. So
excellent.
That should be good. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today.
Okay. Let us know if you liked any of the horror movies that are going to be up and coming. If you guys are anticipating any of these, or if we didn't mention any of the ones that you guys are, let us know in the comments. We also like to thank Liquid Death for murdering our thirst throughout this podcast. If you liked the intro and outro music to the podcast, it is by a band named Zao. And the song is a raw mix of Creator Destroyer on their Crimson Corridor album. And you can find all their source material and albums and purchasing everything about them on zaoonline.net. You can also follow us on our social media. I do horror trivia on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. Also post normal social media stuff on those same venues. The podcast is distributed through YouTube and Rumble. And you can also listen to it on pretty much all major podcasting sites, mainly Apple Podcasts or Spotify for podcasters. You can find all of our material. And then you can also find it on our website at www.thehorrorscene.com. I also want to touch on that. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to have that website. Somehow the website got transferred, the domain name itself got transferred out from underneath me, and I'm in a kind of a legal battle trying to reclaim it. If all is successful, nothing will change, but if it does, I will let you guys know what the new domain name will be for you to go check out all of our material. Wish me luck on that. Do you have anything else to add?
Oh, if you made it to the end, thank you for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you guys for listening, checking out the podcast on all the available medias, liking, subscribing, hitting the bells, all that fun stuff. So remember to stay creepy and to keep it spooky From our grave to yours, these have been your last rites.